Hey guys, Chris Falcone here. Right now we're covering the RGB LED lesson included with this kit. And of course the star component here is the RGB LED. And this is essentially the same size as a normal 5mm LED, but with the three different colored LEDs embedded inside the casing. The leftmost leg, as I'm holding it up, is the red lead. The second one from there over to the right is a ground lead, and then it's a green and then a blue moving toward the right. And you can tell this is the side with red and the ground because this is the flatter edge of the LED. And so also with me here I have three 220 ohm resistors, a green, red, and blue wire to correspond to each of the colors of the LED, and also a longer black wire to use as the ground. And so I've already got my Arduino set up right here, just for sake of convenience. So I'll go ahead and start putting this together. When you're assembling these, it doesn't necessarily matter where you're putting the wires and where you're putting the components on here, as long as you're making the circuit work. So while you could follow whatever instructions are given exactly, as long as it's convenient for you and it works within the circuit, you should be fine. I'm going to insert this here into the breadboard. And sometimes it can get a little sticky putting it in because it doesn't necessarily want to cooperate. So you've got to make sure all the leads are firmly put in and make sure that they all are within so that the LED actually lights up. I personally have had trouble putting in these resistors because the legs can be a little flimsy, and when you're putting them into the breadboard, sometimes they can bend a little bit and not go the way you want them to. So I will begin putting this in here, and I understand that this isn't the most visible thing, but once I am done inserting this in here, I will show it to the camera. So there's one, and you do not need a resistor for the ground because that's going to be connected straight to just the ground of the Arduino board. But you do need a resistor for each of the LED colors. So for red, green, and blue. There's just one last leg that isn't cooperating on here. Pardon me for just a moment, I'm trying to get this to work. And it really doesn't want to. There, I think that should be good for now. As you can see, it's a little strange, but it should work once I start connecting the other wires. It's worth noting that I already compiled the program on here, so as soon as I get all the wires connected, it should start working. So the first one we're connecting is the red wire, which is connected through the program to port 6. Then comes the green wire, which is connected to port 5. And then the blue wire, which is connected to port, oh, that's not supposed to happen. These components do not want to cooperate right now. And the blue wire, which is connected to port 3. And I noticed here that I put the green port in the wrong spot, so I'm going to shift that wire over one, and that should be there correctly. Last but not least is this, which is in the wrong spot, I realize. So let me put that here, and as soon as I do, nothing happens because I didn't put this in the right spot. There. Although that doesn't seem as bright as it should be for some reason. Okay guys, after a bit of troubleshooting, I'm back here with the completed circuit. Genuinely unsure why the brightness was so dim. I changed out the resistors, moved it around on the breadboard, and put it back together, and it was still dim. So I turned this wire around, connected to ground, and apparently that did it. But I couldn't replicate the issue afterwards, so not sure what happened. But this is the brightness it's supposed to be at. Let me see if I can get this in the camera. There we go.
Okay.
This is the brightness it's supposed to be at. As you can see, it's cycling through the visible spectrum of colors. According to the program with the kit. These are all 220 ohm resistors, and I have the wires color coded for each of the corresponding colors. So yeah, that is the RGB LED.